Okay, boys and girls, Mr. D here. In this video, we're going to be looking at goal number 3, uh, how to find equations of perpendicular lines. Again, we're talking about goal number 3, just to put in perspective here. These were our 3 goals when we started one of the lessons in Chapter 5, dealing with slope-intercept form. So here's what we're doing, trying to come up with equations of perpendicular lines. Okay, so that's what we're looking at in this video, how to find equations of perpendicular lines. Excuse me. So if we look here, we have an example of 2 perpendicular lines. You can draw these down, A and B. And it's pretty obvious to see right now, line A, you tell me, you shout it out, let mom and dad know at home. Line A, is that going to be a positive slope, a negative slope, 0, or undefined? You look at the way it's rising to the right, we all should be shouting out, positive, positive! And we know B would be some kind of, what, positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Shout it out. Make sure mom and dad know that you're doing your homework here. That's right. So you all should have been yelling and screaming negative. So here's the relationship for perpendicular lines. We already know parallel lines always have the same slope. Perpendicular lines always have slopes of negative reciprocals. Okay, it sounds a little bit more complex than it is. Take a minute, write that down, and please highlight it, circle it, put some stars next to it. Okay, it's really important that we don't lose sight of that in our notebook. So for example, let's just say the slope of line A was 3 over 1, or 3. Okay? I'll put it as a fraction just to make it especially easier for this example. Again, it's positive, right? So, following the concept of perpendicular lines, that means the slope for line B would be negative 1 over 3. It's got the negative reciprocal, right? So one of them is positive, one of them is negative. All right? And we always just flip the slope upside down. And that's how it is for perpendicular lines. So let's try an example here. And this example should look pretty familiar to the last example we did, but now instead of looking for parallel lines, let's look for a perpendicular line that's going to go through this point. So same concepts that we've been doing. We know the slope here is 2. So if we have a line that is perpendicular, we should know that our slope is going to be negative 1/2. Okay? Because we flip the slope and we change the sign of it. So it was positive 2, so we flip it so it's 1 over 2. This was positive, we make it negative. Okay, and I'm just writing this all out, and then we'll plug in here. Okay, so now what we want to do is we've got to find our B value. So we take this point and we'll just plug it in. Okay, I'll change up colors here for you. So our Y is negative 3. And you guys should be pros at this by now. Negative 1/2 times negative 6. Okay, and then plus B that we're looking for. So we go to simplify this. Again, if we need to, we can make this 6 over 1. And we would multiply straight across. Negative 6 times negative 1 would be positive 6 over 2. Okay, we'll simplify that in just a second. Negative 3 equals positive 6 over 2 plus B. Well, positive 6 over 2, we all know that's just going to be 3. So we've got negative 3 equals 3 plus B. Okay, so I got to get B all by itself. Let's subtract 3. Subtract 3, both sides. So I've got B equals, and you should know this, negative 6. Right, negative 3 and negative 3 gives negative 6. So again, they want to come up with the actual equation. So Y equals negative 1/2 is my slope. X, and then we add in our y-intercept, which is negative 6. And that's how you do it. Okay, again, just remember the relationship of the slopes. When they're parallel, they're the same slopes. When they're perpendicular, flip it and change the sign. As long as they're giving us a point that's on the line, we can always plug that point into our recipe here for the line and find out whatever's missing. Hopefully this helps. Do some more practice with this in class. See you guys then.